Woof. Welcome to Two Dogs Digs, and our topic today, timely as it is how could U.S. tariffs affect us as Canadian resellers? So, if it's your first time seeing us, my name is Craig, aka Bad Dog. My partner Good Dog and I run Two Dogs Digs. We have been reselling for over 25 years on various platforms all over the place. We've sold tons and tons of stuff and shipped tons of stuff to the U.S. from Canada. And so we started a number of years ago a Facebook group as well, which is the Canadian Resellers Group, which you'll see. I will just throw up the banner here, which you can join, which is specifically for Canadian resellers. And it talks all about the issues that we as Canadian resellers face when we are shipping things all over the world. But our big thing today is the tariffs and how they could affect us. So we want to tell you there's a short answer and a little bit of a longer answer. Hopefully you'll stay with us for the full 4 or 5 minutes on this. But the short answer is, how will this affect us? We don't know. These tariffs today is February 2nd. It is 5 o'clock at Eastern Standard Time. We do not have any real details since this was just announced basically yesterday that they would be coming into effect next week, February 4th. And so nothing has specifically stated anything other than there could be a 25% tariff on anything going into the US from Canada. Now, first, let's understand what is a tariff, because a lot of people don't even have a clue what a tariff is. So a tariff is an amount that is kind of like a tax that is paid by the buyer for something that gets imported into their market. So, as a Canadian, you must be used to this. If you order anything that's from a US company and you have it sent to you in Canada, you're used to paying duty on various items. It gets you mad, but you're used to paying duty. If you're shipping things from Canada to the UK, you're used to having to tell them that they have a VAT, they have duty they have to pay when things come in there. So basically, this tariff is the equivalent of that, which means that it could be up to 25% of whatever the value of the item you have. When it gets to the border, US Customs will then charge the buyer that for them to get the item. Otherwise, it would be returned to you in all likelihood. So you have to look at things differently, and don't panic, but start thinking about, how do you adjust your business? How do you work things differently on your business? So what we're talking about right now, though, is historically there has been an $800 de minimis amount in the US. That meant that you could basically ship anything down to the US that was under $800 and the buyers wouldn't pay anything. What we don't know is whether that amount and individuals selling stuff and shipping stuff will actually be affected by these tariffs, or if it will just be businesses, if it will just focus on industries like steel and wood and manufacturing, or whether it will again focus on the little guy. This also means that if you have a family member somewhere in the States and you want to send them something for their birthday, they could be charged. That's how much this tariff could actually come into play. But we don't have all of the answers for this. So what do you do? Well, I think the first thing to think about is, if you are a reseller in Canada and you are selling on eBay or Etsy, you need to make sure your item locations are located in Canada. Some people have these and they show their item locations being in the US. If you use cross-border shippers, you need to make sure that they will allow and accept things from you. And the best way to find out about that is to go to your individual cross-border shippers, like Stallion Express and Chit Chats and DYK. For example, Chit Chat's just posted today, how will President Trump's tariffs affect you? And basically they're telling you exactly what I said, which is there may be disruptions starting February 3rd. We expect, but we don't know anything. so there's still a lot to learn. The one thing that could end up happening, though, is you may end up, just like when you're a Canadian seller shipping across different places in the world, you may end up needing to add an HS code or an HTS code and a location of manufacturing. So when you sell stuff into Europe, you have to put those on. It's very easy to find. Just Google HS codes and you'll get something that will show up to give you a couple of different places for you to actually get that code. So I'll just show you a page that I happened to find, which was Global Post, and it's how you get an HS code. So you just type in the item, it tells you your HS code, and then you type, oh, this Barbie doll happens to be from China. So you put those two things on the customs. If you used to sell from Canada Post years ago, you also have to fill in this big piece of paper that had to have all this stuff. That may happen again too. So you're going to have to just learn to adjust how you do business. That could mean that if you used to sell on Etsy or eBay, maybe, and you never sold on Poshmark Canada, you try selling on Poshmark Canada. Take a look at something like Crossless Magic, which we recommend. There's a video on it and a link in here. That allows you to take your items and just quickly move them over to another platform. It allows you to put them on Poshmark Canada. It allows you to put them on Facebook. It allows you to put them on Instagram. Those may become ways that you're all going to have to try and sort of adapt and learn how to resell. As resellers, we're used to adapting. So don't be too afraid. Just think, okay, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to work this? What's going to be different? And until we know more, we just work with what we got. Again, follow us here on the Facebook group, or make sure you click on the Two Dogs Digs for YouTube. And anytime we do a new video and we get more information on this, we'll be posting it wherever we possibly can. Good luck with your reselling journey, and we'll just deal with these tariffs as they come. Woof.